Hi, my name is David Cameron. And one of the questions that I consistently ask myself is, how do we best support great young leaders in the classroom? And I don't mean your 1 in 1,000 or the keeners. I mean every single student honing skills, habits, and mindsets of great leadership. And the truth is, answering this question has never been more important. We have global warming, artificial intelligence, space exploration, genome modification, species extinction. We have seemingly insurmountable challenges and wondrous opportunities ahead. And today's youth are more educated than anyone before them, and they have more access to information than you or I ever did. Yet 76% of our high school students leave school feeling unprepared for a career. 13 years, and we pray that the next 4 will solve it, if they go. So, who here has played sports? Artists, musicians. You know, as an aspiring jazz musician, I remember being forced to listen to great jazz music. Or as a track athlete, scouring the internet for every video clip of an Olympian that I could find. And you see, for me, it was like a cheat code. I could observe the best and apply it and improvise upon it myself. So I'd like to take you on a little journey. The first stop in this journey is a story from an exceptional entrepreneur that I heard recently. He was proud of a new hire that he had just made and was discussing this with his board. Then one of his directors spoke up and said, "Talent? Pfft, that's not great talent. I've seen great talent." And you see, the next stop is in my living room because I couldn't shake this story. If exceptional leaders need to see great talent to recognize it, how can you, or how can I, become a great leader if we don't witness it first? And as I was contemplating this question, I was playing with my 9-month-old son, and I would blow in his hair as if he was in the wind. And shortly thereafter, he became obsessed with blowing back at me. I'd wave goodbye at him, and he'd flap his arms and smile back at me. But what began to terrify me is this idea that it's not just these simple behaviors that he was observing and applying to himself. How will his father react in the face of failure or rejection? Would I take the courageous route? Or would he watch me bowing out? So that brings us back to here. We've all heard the phrase, "You know it when you see it." And I'd like to propose the same thing is true of great leadership. But I'd also like to modify this. If you can see it, you can be it. And I don't just mean seeing with your eyes. I mean when you hear stories that ignite your imagination, stories that you can't escape, and stories with the power to change you. I'd like to invite you to imagine a magical fireplace. And around this magical fireplace was a great leader, telling stories of courage, of failure. And hearing these stories were young people. And these young people could ask any question that they want. And they could come back to this place anytime they want. What if that fireplace was our classrooms? The charity that I work for brings great local leaders into classrooms and allows young people to ask any question that they want. And it's making a world of a difference in those classrooms. If the average classroom has 76% of its students leaving feeling unprepared for a career, in these classrooms, it's only 18%. And we're seeing drastic increases in their curiosity, in their courage, in their optimism, and so much more. Their relationship to failure and their self-development habits have fundamentally changed. Now, I'd like to tell one more story. And this is a story about Jack. Jack was 16 when he took our program, took our class. But after he finished, one of his family members was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And over the course of the next few weeks, he watched the dejected and defeated faces of his family in the face of a seemingly insurmountable blow to their family and to someone they loved. But Jack would have none of that. He knew that to solve great challenges required great leadership. So he enlisted the help of a friend, and with no medical background and no technical expertise whatsoever, he began putting together technology that would ease the stress and the burden placed on family members and caregivers of those with Alzheimer's. He even gained the attention of the National Alzheimer's Society. Now, what really strikes me about this story and what gives me hope is that Jack wasn't the only one who saw great leadership. So too did his family. And now, so too have you. Thank you.